money, because for her to like that post literally within like the same hour that the announcement came out, like she was literally telling us it's the money. The money is the motivation. Like it is literally dollar signs, people. Like that is the motivation, because for her to find that post within the same night, like she's telling y'all it's money. She wants more money, and I don't even blame you for that. Go get your mother freaking money. Go set yourself and your
You
family
said
up
what? You
and
disagree?
do what you got to do. Get that
No.
money. Get that money, Olivia.
I don't disagree.
You said what? You disagree?
I said I don't disagree. I think it's about the
Oh.
money. I definitely think it's about the money, uh, plus a multitude of other things. But I think she's necessarily thinking more so about her future, and what that will look like living off of a. Because you can live off a WNBA salary, but you don't want to come into it having to live off of that solely. Like having a NIL deal with like Wingstop or Canes or something like that can go a long way. And I don't even think she has
So she doesn't have
like
these deals.
like
It's
she's
because
just
of
having the
the
Exactly.
basic
injuries,
one.
right?
You feel me?
So that's why I think we got to start looking at schools who are top in NIL bag and who needs a point guard.
So she doesn't have these deals. It's because of the injuries, right?
I think it's
I would
because
say
of the
yeah.
injuries, and I think it's also because of being at Notre Dame. And people know who Notre Dame is, but but they don't necessarily always bring Notre Dame the deals.
I was
Notre Dame don't is not known to be an NIL like school, quote
it's a
unquote.
more traditional school. So
Yeah,
like you said earlier, it's more they're more concerned about their donors and stuff like that than they are about NIL, which is changing, right? Because of the climate that we living in. But they're an Under Armour school. Under Armour schools
yeah,
already like
is at a
they
disadvantage.
at a disadvantage. You know what I'm saying? Nike is number one, Adidas is number two, and then like Under Armour, Puma, and like all of the rest of those schools are kind of fighting for what's left. And even though
Hmm.
Notre Dame is the biggest Under Armour school, they're still an Under Armour school. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a cap on how much NIL you're gonna even have available to you because of that, right? Like
Hmm.
Olivia Miles has sports goggles. There's probably a reason that she doesn't have a deal with the sports goggles group, right? People who do that sports goggles shit are usually tied to Nike, right? You know what I'm saying? She might have some Nike shit in the works. She might have some Oakley shit in the works. Oakley is under Nike. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just one of those things.
Hmm.
Yeah, she
Interesting.
should have capitalized off of the sports goggle thing. Like that should have been her first move.
Yeah. Slammer Charlotte, welcome back to the radio show. Do you have a take?
Yes.
This video will help guide you in the
The,
following
the people try
consolidated
to say that
recycling protocols
the
and act as
NIL money is
immediate
Who
decision-making
is
disrespectful.
that?
process. We
Who
will
is
be leading
that?
you
Oh
through the
shit, my
following.
fault.
Is
My
that
fault.
me? That ain't
No,
me.
No,
that
Brady,
was
it's not you.
I'm
that
like
was
I'm typing, but I'm not.
my computer. That was my computer, my fault. But what y'all saying about NIL and they said Notre Dame they like to get their sports off of donors. I can prove that's a lie because their football team just spent $2 million just to get their ass kicked by Ohio State. So that's a lie right there.
How
That's the
is that
It's their
proven that that's
football
a
team
lie?
though versus the women's basketball team.
their women's basketball team that won more shit than they have.
But how is that proven that that's a lie?
I'm about it. That's just proving that they cheap as hell. They don't want to invest in their women's team who
What?
has done.
How did you come to that conclusion?
No, I'm just proving that. I don't know the
No,
run.
no, no,
I'm
no,
trying to.
no. Slam, don't backpedal now. How did
No,
you
I'm
come
proving
to
that Notre
that
Dame they got money.
conclusion?
They got money to push out. It's just they ain't pushing it out.
But how is that an NIL? And we said that they get money from their donors. We led with saying that.
Do you not know how many
How
Notre Dame football players
how
got
do
NIL deals?
donors and
Well, we don't,
NIL
because we don't know
collide?
about the men's teams. Oh my gosh, this is a
I'm talking about.
WNBA. space.
He came
We
up here to
don't
prove
know
that we was
about the
lying,
men. We
but
don't
spoke about the
follow
donor.
the men.
Calm down, Jesus.
No,
No,
I'm just
I will not calm down, Charlotte. This is literally like we literally keep telling you every space. We do not follow men's sports like you do. Like some people do, but it's not everybody up here. We don't know these people you're talking about. There are literal women references you could use to make your point, but we unnecessarily have to keep stopping every time you want to mention some random MMA fighter, some WWE fighter, some football player, hockey player, baseball player, like soccer player. Like, can we
I,
stick to
okay,
women's
that's a lie. I don't watch.
sports?
Don't let them
Can
change you,
we
Slam.
stick
Keep
to
the
women's
references going. What's
sports?
up, S? Welcome
Hi,
back to the show. You gonna take?
Exactly.
I wanted to talk about Olivia leaving, so I think it's for
oh
several reasons.
Lord, Jesus Christ. Hold on,
I
let me
think
mute. God,
hello.
Go ahead, S.
Wait, I'm just gonna turn down my background. Sorry. Um, so one, I do. Are we sure that Coach Ivy's still the coach? Like, for one thing, like, because a lot of the players are leaving, and I don't know if she's still the coach.
Yeah, no,
and
she is.
and
She's
and
you
the coach
never
because they
as
would have
you
changed
never
it.
seen a lot
They
of
would have
players hit the
announced.
portal and coaches
I
stay.
mean, a lot of players hit the portal. Usually, like something's going on.
Yeah,
There's
I
like,
know, I know. Let's not put that out there because
Yeah,
if
I
why are we putting that out
you
there? Ain't nobody paying for
yeah,
just
that.
no,
hey,
she's the coach because you got to understand,
like,
bro.
I'm saying, I said, do we know if she's still the coach? Not that she's not the coach
We
anymore.
do
Anyways,
know that she's still the coach because they haven't announced that she's not the coach. So that would make
And
me
it
still
would
the
literally
coach.
set them back in the transfer portal even more if they didn't have a coach. It's just like, what are you like? No player's going to commit.
okay, we're just gonna jump. Okay, so I think it's mostly just about money, really. Like honestly, it's just she wants more money, and we know that the CBA is coming, so she can get a bigger contract next year. And I think she just wants. I think she's it's like she got injured, right? So she wants to get more healthy, and I think she understands that Notre Dame. This was kind of their last chance because Maddie, even though she didn't have a great season, is leaving. Sonya's leaving. They really don't have any players coming in, and it's really hard to like transfer to Notre Dame
They're asking
because
you
of
to
like
speak up
breaks.
as people that's listening to the spaces.
Wait,
They
wait.
said speak up because you whisper and they can't really hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying that Notre Dame is a hard school to transfer to because of the grades. So they can't really get any transfers, and they don't have anybody from. I think they only have like one person from this high school class, and they're like injured or something. So their prospects are like pretty shitty right now. So I think she just wants to get money and go somewhere where she can like just play like for real.
Right,
I,
right, right. Yeah, we were mentioning that earlier. Let's talk about the next topic, which is the
Well,
All American. Oh, what were we gonna say, Ghost?
I was about to say,
Oh,
with Olivia Miles leaving, is that the last of the Muffet McGraw recruits? Is like she the last recruit for her? And
I think she
so,
was Ivy's first recruit,
oh,
She
right?
she
was
was Ivy's first.
Ivy's first recruit.
She was
Oh,
Ivy's.
she was the first
They
one.
were never there for Muffet.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought Muffet had recruited her and then she retired.
No,
After.
she was Ivy's
I
first
knew that Hannah
recruit.
was a Ivy recruit. I knew that for a fact.
She was Ivy's first recruit. Ivy started halfway through COVID. So she may have been Muffets. She
I'm
may
about to
have
say
been
so.
because
That's why I say.
Muffets went halfway through COVID and then Ivy got it the second half of COVID.
Okay, so that's why I was saying it could possibly be a thing where it's like maybe Niele Ivy's about to make this team fully hers and not have to use another team's recruits and stuff like that.
I mean, fully hers is only two players. Who would do that?
I mean, you gotta think about everybody
Who
else
who would
left.
who would
Everybody
do
else is,
that? Prosper and Hannah are her only two players on this active roster that's coming back next season.
and then everybody else is what? gone or
Gone.
transfer. Yeah.
Go on a transfer.
So
Yeah.
I mean, that
Did
means
anyone watch the McDonald's All American game? We were watching it on playback. I want to know who stood out from everybody. That was like literally my first time watching Chavez, so it was fun, like to
I
dissect her
did
game.
not I did not watch it because I was at work, which sucks.
I watched it. I think she's kind of just a chaotic player. Like it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be good. It's not really ever gonna be in between. It's just gonna be something. I don't think.
You think she's like a bigger version of Hannah?
I think Hannah's
I
more
think she's going to
efficient.
struggle,
I think Hannah's more.
and this is why I think she's going to struggle. I went back and I watched her highlights. She has the ability to shoot the ball well and get to her spots and get to the rim. Against In this game, she was able to do that. My thing is she's going to be playing in the SEC, and we've seen how the SEC guards like to guard. It's physical. She don't really have the speed to beat anybody to the spot. So I think she's going to have to adjust to that, and then adjust to how to get to her spots on the floor while being a little bit slower than the people guarding her, and get into her shot. Like she has the capability of scoring. She's a scorer. She can score the ball. She sees the court well. But as far as getting to that position to score the ball is what she's gonna have to work on.
I think she might try to. She might be one of those point guards where she try to use her physicality to like get to the rim instead of her speed. Because we see Juju. Yeah, she's now Juju. She was fast, but she usually used to big body certain players to get them out the way. I think that's what made her so tough to guard. And I think Aaliyah might try to use that same method. But again, like you said, this is the SEC. Damn near everybody is a big body in the SEC, and the ones who aren't a big body, they're pretty much leaving. That's who Georgia. So yeah,
I mean, I just don't think she was like the most impressive person there. I think the person who stood out the most to me was Jazzy. I think that was like the player that stood out the most in the game.
she's going to LSU, right?
No, she's going to USC.
Oh, I saw I saw an S and a U and I thought it was LSU.
Good
Because I do
news,
know
everyone. I
LSU.
got my oats.
Oops, we better make
Just thought
oatmeal
I
or
should
something.
mention that. All right. Yeah, the All American game was pretty funny. There was a lot of shot chucking, a lot
I
of
mean,
well, first
that's what
off,
I mean. That's kind of what All Star games have become outside of the WNBA.
yeah. I mean, it was still really entertaining though. But first off, I still like again. There's so much talent going into women's basketball, right? It's incredible. It's amazing. However, I still don't think the parity of women's basketball is going to get any better because I'm still seeing all these top recruits still going to the exact same schools that are still winning these championships and whatnot. And I get it, like that's kind of like how the game is played. That's what happens, but I don't know. I just want someone to just shake it up and just go somewhere else.
Well, Aaliyah kind of did that. She went to
Yeah.
Oklahoma. Nope,
Well, I
nobody.
mean,
Yep.
The Sooners have always been good though.
But compared to everybody else, that's like, going to Oklahoma ain't no parity compared to South Carolina and Tennessee and UConn.
I don't think there's really ever gonna be parity, especially now in the NIL era, because it's whatever school has money. Um, so I think parity's like not a thing anymore. I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a thing, really.
Right. All right. Is there any news of the Flau'Jae thing? Because I feel like it's past that
No, I've
deadline.
been I've literally been
I haven't seen
refreshing her
nothing yet.
tweets, her Insta. No, nothing yet.
Do we have like an official like timeline for it? Like obviously it's the 48 hours, but I don't know. I don't remember what time that LSU game ended. It was like sometime like in the evening, I think. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully she'll make an announcement and we can report on that. In other news, I went through. So we're doing a giveaway, right? We have an ESPN bracket giveaway that we're going to give away a free jersey to anyone who can do the bracket challenge for us and who has the highest percentage in their bracket. So last night I was going through all the brackets that were submitted, and I'm starting to see people with like 20%, 35%, all this stuff. And then I come across a UConn fan who submitted their bracket like weeks ago. Um, they're still at like 93%, which is freaking crazy. 93 freaking percent. I already let them know, like, yeah, you're definitely going to be a finalist because nobody's like coming close to that. So I just thought that's funny. But yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. At the jersey giveaway. Oh, I guess we can get into Final Four predictions because we're kind of waiting on that Flau'Jae thing. Oh, I also wanted to do. I wrote down as a topic storylines going into the Final Four, right? And I would love Texas fans to help me on what the storyline is because I feel like Texas doesn't really have like much drama around it or like much talk about that program and stuff like that. The only storyline I can think of Texas is like Rory coming back from like her injury to like win a national championship for her team and stuff like that. But as far as UConn, UCLA, and South Carolina, there's crazy storylines just within those three programs that we can talk about as well.
Can I get my
Um,
idea on the storylines first?
you said who?
I want to get my ideas on those three storylines. Well,
Go for it.
I'm about to say for the UConn storyline, it's all about can Paige Beckers finish the story. She's done everything that there is at UConn, second all-time leading scorer, arguably the most efficient player in college basketball history. She's a projected number one overall pick. She's etched herself in UConn history. She's gone on an absolute tear in UConn, and now all that's missing is that national championship trophy.
It's got to be more than that, though, right? I feel like what makes UConn such a great storyline heading into Final Four, it's more than Paige. Even though she's the face of the team, the most popular on the team, right? But everyone's looking at Gino, someone who's completely revolutionized women's basketball, and like at his age, everyone is looking at him and how Sarah Strong is playing, especially in this entire tournament run, because Sarah Strong was like freaking amazing last night. Um, Everyone would have to know that that's probably his last protege. Like that's going to be his last player before he decides to hang it up and stuff like that. So the fact that if he can get a championship with Sarah, especially now, then rather than later, because we don't know how UConn's team's going to turn out later, because the future is going to be like KK Arnold, who's a really solid defender, but I think a lot of people are hesitant of her like actually taking over as like point guard. Um, then you have Jenna, who's going to take over at like power forward or center and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. But um, I feel like that's a huge piece of it too. The whole Gino retirement thing, Sarah Strong taking over the team after Paige leaves, and then of course, like you mentioned, the whole Paige Beckers being one of the freaking greatest UConn players that ever lived. The only thing she is missing is a national championship, and I feel like
Can
with that
she?
championship, people can start putting Paige in different conversations that I don't think people would be they didn't really want to hear without her having that championship. So I think that's an important piece. I
It's
think
gonna be
Az Fudd is an
uncomfortable.
important piece of that storyline too. Just along with everything that's been going on with UConn. So that is my UConn storyline of that. And then even that Az Fudd's going to be back next year. I think that's going to be really interesting too. Um, Especially if they win it this year, because again, I don't really know why AZ decided to stay because I was like, I don't know what more you have left to prove besides like you want a full healthy season.
Yeah, I think it might be
Um,
because of the ACL.
yeah, well, I think that's what everyone's going to be looking at, right? Um,
Hmm.
because I think I've said this in a previous space or playback or whatever that AZ Fudd next season, I don't think no one's going to be looking at the stats. Like it doesn't matter how many points you got, what's your 3-point percentage, all that stuff. We're just looking if you can finish from the very first game all the way to the last game with no hiccups whatsoever. I think that's going to determine her draft pick in a sense. So a lot of stuff to look out for. All right, let's go
Next,
to South Carolina next because that's always
of
such a fun
course,
team to
the
talk about.
big one is, can they repeat? Can they do it 2 times? That's the first one. And then
Um,
the second thing is, what do you do in this situation? Is it time, like after this season is over, is it time to just give up on the Raven Johnson experiment, or do you stick it out one more year?
okay, they're definitely not letting her go after if they won again and if she has a chance to stay. I think let's see. So it's a little bit more than a repeat, right? I'm sure everyone's like looking at like, oh, can they repeat and stuff like that. But they've had like a crazy like what like 24 months of like only like three teams beating them or something like that. And I think they just put out a stat saying that Don Staley is going to be like the first ever black coach in NCAA history to uh, make it to the final four so many times or like win a championship like this many times and stuff like that or one of those stats. I need someone to fact correct me on that because it's going to
The
be like a
first,
crazy freaking stat if she can win this final four and make it back to the national championship. So
she'll be the
that's a huge
first,
storyline too. I
she'll be
feel
the
like
first
Don.
coach since John Thompson to go to 3 straight Final Fours. She'll be the first black head coach to do that.
Okay, there's a stat. I already feel like a lot of people put Don Staley in that conversation of like how she's turning around South Carolina as a program and then all this stuff, and then I feel like you can really finally put her up there in conversations with like Gino, Pat Summit, and stuff like that. It's like one of the greatest coaches of all time. Um, you know, uh, just freaking incredible what she's done here. I am interested to see too, though, because again, I know this is like Final Four and championship storylines, but I really do want to see what like Pow Pow will do on the next level and like the rest of the guards. Well, I think it's only like Pow Pow that's gonna like
Yeah,
declare
she's the
as a
only one
guard,
leaving.
because she's not really known for developing guards to the next level, right? Like a lot of them make it, but a lot of them don't really do anything. So I'm looking forward to that in the Final Four and in the championship game. Just watching Pow Pow, watching Raven Johnson, and how they could possibly be like that new, the newer players that can actually like do something in the league because there's definitely a place for them, most definitely a place for them. So the repeat, Don Staley chasing legendary status, which she's already a legend to me, but um, and then also like the Raven Johnson whole debacle thing that's like on Twitter of like people talking about her stats, she's not ready, this and that. That's always been a storyline for South Carolina throughout the course of the season. And honestly, personally, if they make it, I mean, they're already at the Final Four, right? If they can just win a championship, make it back to the national championship, and Raven Johnson has like what, three championships to her name? I mean, what the hell else are they going to say about her? Like whatever point guard that you think is better than her or like whatever stats are better than her and stuff like that, they don't have the accomplishments that she has. So I just think that's pretty hilarious that people can still have that kind of conversation about Raven Johnson.
I mean, also the storyline of the three teams left besides Cal, South Carolina, are the teams that beat them this season. Texas
Right.
beat them, UCLA beat them, and UConn beat them.
I feel like South Carolina fans aren't afraid of Texas though.
I'm just
Yeah, I mean,
saying, you said a
after that, I'm
storyline.
about to
I'm just
say
saying.
after that
Right,
SEC
right. It is
championship
definitely
game,
a
I think
storyline.
they know. After that
I,
SEC,
Um
I don't think, I think SC is gonna beat Texas, but I wouldn't be surprised if Texas won either.
ooh,
Like honestly,
you think?
I
So
would.
you
Their
think
offense is ass.
huh?
like literally Texas has to win a football game basically to beat them?
I mean, Texas is. I think Texas is a better defensive team than South Carolina,
It just
and
Madison. The thing is,
Madison needs a good game.
Can Madison show up when the lights are the brightest? That's my
I
storyline for Texas. Can
I can
Madison
hardly hear
show
both
up
of
on?
you. So let's get to UCLA. All right.
I
What are the
think the easiest
storylines for
storyline
UCLA?
is. I think the easiest one is, can somebody not named Lauren Betts please show up for this team? That's the easiest thing I got.
I mean, Lauren Betts wasn't the reason they beat.
I mean, I know that. But let's be honest. USCLA didn't win that game. LSU flat out lost it.
I mean, yeah, I agree.
They flat out lost that game. Okay. If LSU had a played like they gave a damn, they would have probably ran UCLA at the gym.
Um. Okay, so I think one of the biggest storylines going into UCLA is obviously the whole Lauren Best thing, knowing that she's like one of the best players. I think almost everyone can agree that Juju was like definitely player of the year of the incredible season she has, but also people can agree that Lauren Betts is like right there at second place as being
Yeah.
one of the best players in the country. Um, this entire tournament run, if she can just win this championship, make it to the national championship game, will be a historic run because obviously UCLA has like never gotten this far before.
Yeah.
If they win a championship, I think the biggest storyline out of that is going to be they're all coming back to do a
It's like
repeat, every single one of them, because there's no reason why you would leave. Again, I don't know like the NIL situation at UCLA, but I know it's not terrible. I know it's not
yeah.
bad, especially being in California. And then especially with more recruits coming in, like Lauren Bett's sister, which if anyone saw her in the All American game, she won the freaking MVP.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it can honestly be scary times for the rest of the NCAA,
Yeah.
or I guess
I,
at least for
I've
like the Big
already,
Ten and all that.
I've already gone ahead and said hand UCLA the Big Ten championship next year already. I've already gone on the limb and said that. Just go
Um,
ahead and hand them the Big Ten title.
is Corey Claus not a fraud? That's the real question. Because seriously, I know people talk about Lauren Carrion, but they honestly do probably have the most well-rounded team. They just don't act like it.
Corey Close. I'm about to say
Corey
Corey Close.
Claus,
She proved she wasn't a fraud in that LSU game. She proved to me. I knew she wasn't a fraud in that LSU game.
she's
Because
still a
any
fraud.
other normal coach, if yours big go down with 2 fouls, any other coach would have pissed in themselves and they would have gotten their ass kicked. She made sure that all of her players were ready for that moment, and she got them ready. They took care of business. That's what let me
I'm
know
I'm
she
not
wasn't a
I'm,
fraud.
I'm not praising her for LSU acting stupid.
I mean,
Mhm.
it also helped that LSU absolutely dropped the ball by giving Kalen Gilbert the ball instead of Flau'Jae and uh Michaela. Like that helps their case. But Corey Close, as your coach, you got to take advantage of whatever they give. So if they're gonna
Um,
just chuck up with Kalen Gilbert and have her go 0 for 7, hey, fuck it, I'll take it.
I've also written down the coach too as a storyline as well. I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong. I feel that the UCLA coach, I feel like a lot of people they talk just amount of shit about her than they do about USC's coach about how like they
I
both
I,
don't know
I
what they're
talk shit about
doing
her.
and UCLA is like winning despite of her and stuff like that. I've literally seen it all on my timeline and all throughout the chats.
That's the
I
thing
think that's
about
going
it.
to be a storyline too, especially if UCLA can get this championship. That coach is going to be on another tier, like another tier. Like you just have to respect her. You absolutely
I'm
have
just put
to.
it. I'm put it out there right now. If UCLA and USC swap coaches, UCLA they lose to Ole Miss. USC Juju never gets hurt because she's smart enough. She doesn't play her in that injury.
I'm going to mute you there because injuries are nobody's fault. Uh,
No, I'm
Kayla
saying no.
Hey, wait,
Jr.
She
wait.
was already
Can
limping
I?
prior to that game.
Go ahead, Ghost, and then we'll go to Kayla Jr.
I just want to bring up the National Player of the Year conversation for a second because I didn't realize this because I think everybody knows I gamble. I gambled on the National Player of the Year market. Um, and I found out that the voting, like the media voters and voting, didn't close until today at noon for both men's and women's. Um, and I think it's a conversation that needs to be had because I think Juju had such a lead, like such a big lead, but the last 2, 3 games we could like I'm not gonna say Paige is going to win it, but I mean I'm not going to be surprised if
Paige.
some yeah.
Paige closed the
What?
gap. She didn't.
Yes. Yes.
She
No, no, no. Just let me like I honestly think Juju should win it and will win it. But if like, but I think that the placing of how like of the results is going to be something we talk about because I don't think Lauren is going to finish second.
So can I ask a
Ooh.
question? Because I just don't know. The Player of the Year award, is that for the regular season, or do they count the March Madness too?
No, they count the March Madness. That's why they
Yeah.
give them up
It's
What?
until
not like
today.
it's
Yes.
not like the
Damn.
pros
So
where
that
they only
means
count the
It's not
what?
regular.
like MVP. They do count March Madness.
Yeah.
I still think Juju wins,
If
but
they're
like,
counting
Because
March Madness,
yeah, cause the
yeah, no,
voting
the
just
voting's
ended.
still open till today. So like, yeah, they all take it.
if they're
Well, what would
counting
you say,
March
Carl?
Madness,
I mean,
then why would
Yeah,
you say Paige over Lauren? I think Lauren's been a little bit more
because
impressive.
Paige has been way better. Oh no, Paige
Y-
has been the best player.
That's what I was gonna say.
I
I thought
mean, come on, like the last 3 games we've seen, Paige is
that's
literally
yeah. I
This
think
hasn't
there's
been a
just some
gone
nasty
recency
season.
bias with
God mode,
Yeah,
all right?
I don't think she like. I think Juju's lead was so big that I don't think Paige or Lauren could have touched her. But I do think Paige has definitely surpassed Lauren as. I
I'm
mean,
about to say, I think the Elite 8 games is what shot Paige over
yeah,
Lauren.
yeah,
The Elite 8,
yeah. No, you
Paige
right.
came in and whooped ass
But didn't
against.
Lauren have like she was 15 for 16 from the floor and had like 30 freaking points?
No,
Yeah,
no,
but Paige had 4. Wasn't that the game that Paige
Paige
had
had
but you
40?
40.
but you could
Yeah, she had
argue
40.
yeah, but you could argue UCLA's best win during the whole tournament run and most impressive win was when Lauren was off the like
Yeah,
was
like her worst game. Her
you
worst game was
legit
their best win.
yes, yeah,
Mm.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly, yeah. That's a great point to put it, son.
And I
her
never thought,
worst.
even if we're just counting the regular season, I never thought Lauren was second. I thought, like,
Who's second?
I
Wait, hold
think
For
on.
it
it,
I didn't say
was.
all
here's the
I
that.
thing
I
think
didn't
about
it
say
it.
all
was.
For a
that. Hold on,
time
hold on.
before March,
I thought it was
Hannah
Hannah.
Hidalgo was number 2
No, okay, so this is
before
how I
March.
like
Let
just
me.
before March, before like
What
okay,
y'all talk about?
the
What's
the
The
Wooden
Kayla.
Award, Wooden
the
Award.
Wait, hold on. Let me introduce Kayla. What's up, Kayla?
oh
You came here to talk about
Hi.
Texas?
Yes, of course, because my sources told me that Slime of Charlotte said fuck me, fuck Texas, fuck the coaches, fuck the feds. I just want to know what's up. What's
What do you
the
mean?
tea?
What did I say? Fuck Texas for?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
I
said fuck
don't
Georgia
know. You
Tech too. Let's
tell
get him.
me.
What the
Yeah,
heck? I ain't
I
yeah.
got
was
no.
saying
What you
I
gotta say?
don't have no beef with Texas.
Oh, because my sources told me you said fuck me. You said Caleb Jr. specifically. Then you said fuck Texas. Like I'm just confused. I
The
thought we
fuck?
was cool.
I ain't got no beef with Texas.
I thought we was
I
cool.
said that if
Slum
Madison,
Charlotte.
Lily, I said that Texas, the one way, I said Texas would have to win a football game to beat South Carolina. I didn't say they ain't had no chance in hell.
All
Hey,
right.
hey,
That's
look, we have a New Jersey
I ain't say,
native.
I'm about to say,
So
I ain't say they had no chance in hell.
mm, mm-hmm.
I'm about to say,
Okay.
because who knows? Vic Schaefer, he
Kayla,
probably
Kayla,
took,
check your
Yes, so
DM. Check your DMs.
check my
yeah.
DMs.
what I was
Okay.
trying to say is Vic Schaefer probably took that SEC championship game personally.
Oh,
And that's what I'm trying to say. He might have took that person and said, okay, y'all want to score 60? Bet. Y'all ain't touching 50 this game. If y'all win, it's gonna have to be 45 to 38.
hold
It's
on.
shit,
basically
they
going to be
didn't. Yeah,
Carolina Duke.
they barely touched 50. What was the score?
It was like 60 something to 48.
Um,
Yeah, wait, my
Basically what
bad,
he took,
Slime. My bad,
like,
Slime and Charlotte. In my bad, I got the wrong person. Carlin. I heard it was you that said fuck me, fuck Texas. What's
me.
going on? Yeah, my sources. My sources said you said fuck
And who are
Caleb
your
Jr.
sources, Jericho?
No. No, you out of this. I just can't believe y'all. You know what? Because we always getting the fraud allegations and everything. Like we in the final four and we still can't get no respect. But you know what?
Their
I can't
offense is
wait for
terrible.
Friday.
Your defense is
Okay,
elite.
wait,
Your
wait,
defense
wait,
is
wait, wait.
I'm about
definitely
to say they
elite.
got a
Yes, of
top.
course. Yeah, our
I'm about to say they got a
hey,
top
defense
10
is
defense.
hey, Caleb, would you take
Top
Olivia
five.
Miles?
yes,
Okay, then we need
yes.
to start talking about Texas too being a potential suitor because Texas has that Aaliyah Chavez money that they need to spend
Oh yeah.
somewhere, some way,
Oh yeah.
somehow.
I was
Mhm.
hurt. I was hurt. because I thought we was getting Olivia, but you know what?
But
It's
you would take
cool.
Olivia
They
over her
saying
though,
that
right?
Texas
Yeah.
is getting Hannah. That's what they said. They
No,
said
Yeah.
Texas
She
is
went to
no.
getting Hannah.
Oklahoma.
If
She went to
Hannah can't
Oklahoma
pass the
because
ball, and if
They
Hannah
saying
can't pass the ball in Notre Dame,
Oklahoma.
we don't want her in Texas. Go somewhere else. We don't need that. Olivia, no. You can come over here to Texas. We need a point guard. You play with Madison, Kyla. We got some players for you, girl. Just
Kayla, stay away
oh,
from Olivia.
what? Who? She not going to Georgia Tech, Carla. I know that
Olivia's
much.
going to Rutgers.
Oh, girl,
Hell,
please. Ain't nobody
man.
going to
Yes.
Rutgers.
I'm just gonna. If you want to be honest, if we're talking about somebody that needs offense, she needs to go to. She low key might have to go to North Carolina if we're going off an offensive standpoint, because they don't have no offense at North Carolina, and it's the thing
They don't
about
have
it.
defense either.
Carolina. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. You do realize Duke won that game 47-38.
That's because Duke can't score either.
Yeah. Yeah, and you saw Carolina had an even worse offense than Duke. That should tell you something. If they only scored 38 points, that should tell you something.
Wow.
And then add in the fact you got offense. You mean put defense and shooters around she won't even have to score that much. You just put defense around her and shooters, you won't have to you can legit play the same way that the Fever played with Caitlin. You can hide her on defense.
Well, I'll tell you what. Since we have a Texas fan in here and somehow a Rutgers fan,
Hey, not too
Crazy.
much. Not too fucking much.
Kayla, how is the what are the storylines for Texas going into the Final Four?
Well, the obvious one. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
The obvious one is, Rory coming back from her injury and winning a
Right.
championship. But the other one is Texas hasn't won a championship since 1986. Since that team went 34-0.
Damn.
Yeah.
That was
Dang.
So
like
if they can do
75
this,
years ago, right?
yeah,
Dang.
if they can do this, they will be, making history. It's been a long
I'm sorry.
time since we brought some hardware to Texas for basketball. So
Yeah, it's
yeah.
been a long time they brought home hardwood, period.
We just won a national championship in baseball. Not too much.
Oh
We
damn,
we
I
Oh
forgot.
made
I
yeah, we
forgot.
it.
did. Yeah.
I forgot. I only watch college football and college
Slime, I thought you
basketball.
knew about them men. What's going on? What happened?
Mhm.
I thought I don't watch college baseball. I was talking about football and basketball. Okay, like
Yeah.
the last time I fully watched a Texas national championship was Vince Young in '05. All right, that's the last time that I watched a
Well,
full
So it was like who?
I'm just a
2005.
girl. I'm just the girl. I don't know what none of that means.
Basically, Vince Young is
You don't
that's
have to
basically
we
explain.
don't. But
Matt.
Texas don't really have no rivalry stories. We just trying to win. We ain't. We just want
that-
to win. That's it.
Mm.
That's all.
And honestly, I think for UCLA, another thing, I think they're trying to escape the shadow of what their counterparts have done in the tournament. Because we all know 11 national titles on the other side. I'm not gonna say it. They got 11 national titles on the other side. That's the most on the other side's history. The women have never won one. So
All
if
right.
they can pick up that one championship, that would be major for UCLA.
Right. All right. Ghost, any news on the Flau'Jae? Guess
No, to
not.
be honest, I'm in the middle of a DM. I'm trying to DM her mom. I'm gonna
Not you
come up
got
with a
Keita
DM.
on your line.
DM the
Because at
mom
this
is
point, like, come on, like, I feel like
DM the
like
mom
people
is
know.
crazy.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy.
Leave that
You
lady
know what? While you
alone.
do that, I'm gonna DM Coach Ivy, see what's going on with Notre Dame. So who
Well,
are you
and I
gonna
just want
DM?
to put it. Wait, hold up. Can I real quick just put on public? The reason I'm DMing on her mom is because I know her mom stays on Twitter, and Flau'Jae really like if it's not like a sponsored tweet or something, she's really not tweeting right now. And her mom's been tweeting like us the last like 2 3 days. So I know she's on. You know what I'm saying? So
You think she came on the Spaces in the
man, no.
anonymous?
Nah, I'm not saying all that, but like I wouldn't be like I don't know. I just want to know. Because like if Flau'Jae does declare, I hope you guys know how ignorant I'm gonna start acting, man.
Well, you know
More
what?
than usual?
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Well, she thought she did something with that.
Oh, your feelings hurt.
um,
No,
I forgot what
not at all.
Yeah.
I forgot what WNBA reporter it was. I think it was like Rachel G something.
Bro,
Um,
weird.
she made a tweet saying that after Olivia Miles declared for the portal and all that stuff, saying that the LA doesn't look foolish anymore, getting rid of that second pick. And I said, whoa, not yet. We're gonna see what happens with the whole Flau'Jae thing. Because if Flau'Jae does declare, then yeah, that's back to being a terrible pick, or trade of a pick.
I might just
But
tweeted that Flau'Jae has a scheduled tweet for 8:15 Central. I don't know if they're trolling.
Who
but
does
one
Flau'Jae, somebody just posted that in the comments.
a scheduled tweet? How would we know what a schedule?
I
She has a
don't
scheduled
know.
tweet.
I mean, it's coming from a burner though, so it could be.
Could be her.
Yeah, you know. I mean,
but
because this account was
another
just made like 2 days ago.
another thing, you talking about another team that dodged a bullet? Chicago. At first, I was wondering why the hell did Chicago not trade that pick, but now with all the fallout that's going on, I'm like, it makes sense now.
Well, Chicago is never gonna pick Olivia, right?
No, there was a possibility that Sonya was going to go before her. There was a possibility.
No, that bro, and
But
that's what
the press conferences, Tyler Marsh said they wanted a shooter in the draft, and Olivia's not that.
I think that's what she was hurt about. That's what we need to start talking. That's why I need the Flau'Jae shit to come out because I don't want whoever gets selected at 2 for this bullshit narrative that's outright. Oh, she's going to because Olivia's not there. Like Olivia didn't declare. Like no. Whoever's going at 2 is who the Storm won at 2. I don't need. Oh, the Storm just kind of like no.
Yeah.
That's why we need to come on, Flau'Jae. Like I already got my narratives set up. Come on.
Ghost, what's your narratives?
My narrative, if Flau'Jae doesn't declare, whoever Seattle, I mean, no matter what, well, okay, if Flau'Jae doesn't declare, I think the thing is whoever Seattle ends up picking at 2 in 2 weeks is exactly who they finalized on at that NC State Notre Dame game after Chicago traded the pick because I made a whole thread about this. Chicago traded that pick the game after NC State in Notre Dame, and you go back to that Notre Dame NC State game. That was legit. The I feel like the first consensus game where everybody was like, okay, yeah, Sony's definitely the best player on this team. And then what was funnier about that was that Chicago was the only front office not at that game. Yet they're the ones who traded it. And I think it's because they found out from other people in WNBA circles who Seattle had kind of finalized with the 2 pick. So I just yeah. And then if Flau'Jae comes out, if Flau'Jae comes out, I hope it's Flau'Jae basically one of the best starting fives in the league, or Marina Mabrey in the 7th pick.
Wait, what? What about Mabry?
Oh, if Flau'Jae comes out, that like do we the trade talks are certainly gonna start talking again. Like it's gonna start the
Some people going to try to be moving up for that pick.
yeah exactly yeah
Yeah.
You
whether
Some
said the
people going to,
Seattle
fever?
no I didn't say the Fever.
he said, Connecticut.
I
Think so.
I said the Sun basically.
Oh.
I'm about to say,
Oh. So okay. So the 7 pick with Mabry for that number 2
Yes,
pick.
yeah.
yes,
Basically to get
yes.
Mabry out of that, it's like, all right, Marina, you finally don't want to be here. Fine.
That's not a
Yeah,
bad trade if you're
it-
Seattle.
Please
Yeah.
don't wish
right.
But
Connecticut
if
on Flau'Jae.
I'm about to say, what the hell? Like, why they gonna have they
Like,
gonna relate that
Why
they gonna
not?
relocate that team to
Let
New
Fla-
Orleans.
no,
They
let
gonna
no,
relocate.
Flau'Jae.
Flau'Jae
Nigga,
deserves
what?
better than Connecticut. What are you
Like I
talking about?
said, they
Why
finna
not?
relocate the son to New Orleans. Hell
Well,
no.
let
Hell
her build
no.
up that franchise. Let her
What
build
the
it
fuck
up.
can she build
No,
up in
the
Connecticut?
franchise needs to build themselves up for her.
No, come
If
on.
you gonna build up Flau'Jae, at least send her to Boston. Like, damn.
Every star player needs to build up a franchise. Every star
At,
player.
at
They
least,
need to do some building first, though. Like they need to do
nigga, the
something
franchise
first.
itself need to build. Like we can't have Flau'Jae having concerts during a YMCA kids event. Like
Hey,
what?
we said the same thing about Asia and the Aces when they first moved over from San Antonio. San
I
Antonio
mean, but
didn't
it's
have a jack, didn't have anything, anything.
Well,
but
this
they
is
went
not
to
them.
Vegas.
This we're in different times now.
Vegas didn't have
Everybody
anything. There was no
shouldn't
sports
have
in
to go
Vegas
through
at
the
the time.
struggle.
Nick, and that was the whole thing. Vegas didn't have any sports. Connecticut, you got to deal with UConn. That's the be all end
I
all
was
in
just gonna
Connecticut.
say, like, at the
What?
very least, Vegas is a major city, so like, there's
Yeah,
at
Vegas is
least
a major city
people to pull from
that didn't
when
have
you're
a big
looking for
name
new
sports team.
fans.
Hmm.
There's no people in Unksville, and respectfully, right, Uncasville. I know that there are people there, right?
So if they know
But
it's
come
local,
on,
send that team to NOLA. Well, hell, send the
you
team to
feel me?
Charlotte. I'll take whatever at this point. Shit.
A couple exits is Baltimore. A couple more exits is New York, and a few more exits is goddamn Boston. Man, figure that shit out. Make them the East Coast team if you need to. Shit, if you got to move them south, move them south. But damn, bro,
Oh, shit.
Uncasville,
Uncasville,
Uncasville.
Connecticut?
I
I
do
Bro,
was
feel
gonna
like
put an
every team
agenda,
needs a
but I'm
star
gonna be
player,
quiet
though.
this time.
yeah.
I
I
agree.
mean, I agree with that, but I'm just saying, like, nigga, get these niggas, put them somewhere where they gonna be loved. Like,
You know what I'm saying? We have towns bigger than Uncasville.
nigga, I got neighborhoods bigger than that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's I'm walking through a neighborhood bigger than Uncasville right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you were saying something about an expansion team in New Jersey?
I didn't say that, but
Hold on, wait a minute. Me?
What would they be called?
no,
The New Jersey
I don't.
Jets.
No,
Not the Jets. Hell
we
no.
already had that. Did you
We
see
ain't
how
finna
it worked
call them
out?
niggas a Jet.
Oh wait, are they really New Jersey Jets?
They were in like this. I
Why
don't know
does
when
New
it was.
York not let Jersey
New
have
York took
anything?
the. We had the Nets and we had the Jets. The Jets still play in New Jersey, by the way.
Yeah.
Somebody saying y'all got
Uh,
the Devils.
but they were both sold into
And the
New
Devils
Jersey.
play in New York.
Oh
Yeah.
damn, that's crazy. That's
It's all
crazy.
right. Y'all about to have Connecticut, or I guess the Sun,
I'm about to say,
the New
I'm about to
The
say
Jersey
New Jersey
Sun.
Sun.
y'all renting the. I mean, at least
New
Oh,
Jersey.
y'all renting the other Jets and the Giants. Y'all renting them. They paying y'all rent. New Jersey.
Well,
yeah. Let's go, New
Wait a minute, are they
Jersey.
still in East Rutherford?
I don't know. I don't ask me nothing about the damn. Don't
She
I
said,
do
"Don't
not
ask her
know.
anything about any men sports, please."
Right, right.
All right.
Is that a men's football question?
I know a little bit, but
I was just going.
at the end of the
we
day,
we
That
gonna
wasn't
keep
even
it
a
neutral
football question. This is a
for
location
Charlotte.
question.
I know they're in Jersey. I don't know where.
Okay.
So you must know a lot about softball, right,
A
Soul?
football reference. You got to put
No.
$5 in a jar.
Right. What's up, Midnight?
Well, I heard New Jersey being brought up, so I guess it was my time to speak, apparently. They still play in East Rutherford. They demolished the old stadium, and I believe the new stadium is like basically like across the street from where the old stadium was.
Okay.
But yeah, they there's no real estate in New York for them to play in New York. Like
Okay.
honestly, I'm shocked that the Liberty found that much space in Brooklyn to have a facility. Like I'm completely stunned. Because 75,000 square feet in the heart of the city and like somewhat near Barclays Center is like that's crazy and kind of embarrassing for like the Connecticut Sun to not even have like plans, which is I mean, to me it's incredibly obvious that they're waiting for the market to be set um for them to have a price point in terms of like what they're going to get on offer team like whether it's Boston or whoever is interested in having a franchise. They're just
Montana.
waiting for the
Montana.
market and the price point to be set, you know.
Now
Maybe
I
it's
was. Now I.
maybe
Oh,
oh, go ahead.
I was about to say I would like to see them go to Philly. I would like to see them go to Philadelphia.
I mean, like obviously I think they're going to stay on the East Coast wherever whatever happens, but I can't imagine that they're having, you know, multiple games in Boston just for fun. I think, there's an investment group that's looking at this and maybe having conversations with them internally, to see, what they can agree to. Because I if they were really serious about keeping the team in Connecticut, they would have some kind of plan in place or say something. There's radio silence. We're not having any kind of discussion about the future of a practice facility, and the collective bargaining agreement is probably going to have some form of language in terms of a bare minimum of what a team is supposed to have. And if Connecticut doesn't have it, then it's the decision's going to be made for them. So, um to me, that's where my mind is at in terms of like where the Sun are going. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong, who knows.
I was about to say, Boston does make sense because of the whole New England thing. Connecticut and Massachusetts are both considered New England in a sense.
I think it would be really cool to see, a Boston team. Like, it's hard to see basketball and not think of a team in Boston, you know what I mean? Like, that green, the Celtics, one of the most winning franchise. I know they're not going to technically be related necessarily, but it would be cool to see. I would like to see it, whether
On
they're the
two
Boston Clovers or otherwise.
on 2K, I did an expansion team in Boston, and their colors were like orange and red. They were the Boston Steamrollers. It's pretty
Orange and
cool.
red. That's
Yeah.
a choice. I don't is that even a
It's
color
more like
scheme for any
a
kind of team?
sherbet. It was more like a sherbet color. Think of sherbet.
I'm struggling to think of a team that has that kind. I mean, that would be hard
AJ
to.
was on the team too.
I think that color scheme just doesn't like it doesn't look
if I
right.
showed
The
it to you,
main red claws. That's what
yeah,
that reminds me of.
yeah. If I showed it to you, it's not a bad design. Like it's like the steamrollers, and then like the logo is like a train.
Mm. Did you guys all see the McDonald's game? Like, I have it on in the background, and I'm really excited. I'm so excited for the future volunteers. Like they look like this is not their first rodeo in terms of playing with each other. And Mia Paldo for being 5'5", like damn, it looks like she's really got something going on.
Oh yeah, yeah. We mentioned it. The All American game was pretty cool. I mean, that was like my first time really watching
Is Aaliyah?
Chavez.
Wait, midnight. You think Aaliyah Chavez? I didn't watch the game. Is Aaliyah Chavez? Could you watch the court and see that she was like? Could you tell she was the number one recruit?
I mean,
I can tell
it's
she's
it,
really
it, it
good.
it's hard for me to like evaluate that fairly because like in the grand scheme of things, these people aren't even necessarily going to play against each other, let alone with each other. So like their chemistry, whether it's off or on, and it's how it is more about like how they shine individually. Obviously, because like it's basically an exhibition, like it doesn't necessarily mean anything. And there are people who have played in the in McDonald's All American game, and we've never heard from them again. Like they flame out and it's a nothing burger. And then there are people who this is where their origin story basically started. So um it's I don't want to judge anyone too harshly based on what they did, because I don't know. Maybe they had a bad game, maybe and maybe they're still in the middle of building that resume for themselves and making a name for themselves. um and then there are people who haven't played in the a McDonald's All American game who we will see in the future. What you call it? Uh, God, I'm trying to think of who barely made the cut for the Hot 100 a couple years ago, and I think she's in Washington now. Um, or is she on the Atlanta Dream? She played at Michigan State. I can't remember her name for some reason.
Aerial
Even
powers.
yeah, Ariel Powers. Like she was like player number 100, and like by the end of her college career, she was like what, like a top 5 draft pick. So I'm not like, this is my first time watching the McDonald's All American game. Um, but I am really excited. I got to see Mia Paldo in person because she was at that game at Barclays Center. Um, or whatever, and it was kind of cool seeing like seeing her future team play and knowing that she's going to be a part of it. And the fact that they're playing in Brooklyn again this year is super cool too. Like they're having, I guess it's going to be a regular thing, um, having Louisville, UConn, Iowa, and Tennessee play at Barclays Center. Um,
Speaking of Barclays, a lot of celebrities at the game. We saw Stewie there, and I know I'm not crazy. I saw Stewie like literally in like the nosebleeds, and then somehow like by like halftime she went down to like courtside. I guess like I don't know. People just found out who she was. It's like, oh yeah, you should be courtside. But Angel was there. She was sitting courtside. DJanae, Courtney Williams.
There were when I went to the game, I was sitting pretty up close. I was like I think I was like in section 7. Like it was I was very close. Like I was like very happy about where I was sitting.
Mm.
And there were people like who were literally unfortunately there were Iowa fans and like I'm sure not all Iowa fans are terrible, but there was like these people who were literally like sitting in other people's seats, I guess, who hadn't shown up to the game yet, and the usher was like literally fighting them, like telling them that you can't sit here. This is not where where your seat is, and they're like fighting back, and I'm like, why are you even having this conversation? Just move to whatever seat you paid for. Like you don't belong here. Like I don't know
Right.
why you're actually arguing this. It's like, and this is like very early on. Like it's not like people were drunk or anything, but like they were literally like having this like bitch fit, and it's like a whole slew of these like Iowa fans, and I'm like, oh God, this is like so annoying. And on top of that, it was disrupting the game. The game was literally like already being played, and I couldn't hear half of what was going on because they were literally having this argument in front of me.
Interesting. Um. So
Um,
just oh
I want to have a take on the McDonald's All Americans.
well,
Well,
before you do
what I
that, Ghost, any news on Flau'Jae? Because this isn't going to be like a late spaces.
No, not yet. Yeah, I promise. I will yell. I will cut whoever's talking if when she announces
What is
the
the what
contest.
was that time you said that that account that was made 2 days ago?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna even give them any more attention because they said April Fools like just like 10 minutes ago. So I think they were trying to like just troll me.
I can't
That's
I
why I don't
can't
read
listen to
comments,
anything.
bro.
I can't listen to anything that happens today because there was literally a fake post saying Sanaya Latson's going to LSU,
yeah
and then I don't know if it's real, but someone was posting something about uh Olivia Miles' Instagram, saying that she was making comments basically addressing Hannah Hidalgo and her hypocrisy, um regarding the post that everyone has seen obviously at this point, um and like I don't even know if if that's real. I mean, hopefully not, because that's super awkward. Not that they're going to be teammates anymore, but it's super awkward. Um,
Somebody said Pow Pow gives them Rachel Banham vibes. I love it.
Oh, and what I was about to say about the recruits that I saw in the recruits that was coming in. I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now. North Carolina and Duke, they're doing better than their male counterparts when it comes to recruiting, especially North Carolina.
Here it
Because
comes.
good,
well, I mean,
no, I'm just saying.
I mean, they have North Carolina has a really great coach. Like they plucked her from Princeton, and Princeton has been like a really strong program for so many years.
Yeah,
Like people, I don't know if you guys remember, but like Princeton had an undefeated season when Courtney Banghart was there, and like it's not like they had like superstars like and the only reason why they got bounced out early in the tournament is because they were seated so low, because I really think
Uh,
they got screwed over with they try to be more mindful about seeding now, but like they placed them eighth, like which is insane for an undefeated season, even though like they didn't play like anyone especially high. But like if they were a Power 4 program, or Power 5 at that point, like it would have been a very different story, even with
all
their.
right. So let me say this because our mutual cat obviously had a good take on this. That LSU game ended at around 5:30 p.m. Eastern the other day, right? So that means if she was going to make any announcement, it would have happened like hours ago. So with that said, I'm pretty confident that Flau'Jae is going back to LSU.
I mean, she has time. Like
Wait, what happened? What
she
happened?
could still be weighing her options. I mean,
No, I mean just that's the 48 hours though.
the portal isn't closed yet.
No, not the portal. I mean like to declare.
I wait. When is the deadline?
It's 48 hours after you finish your last game in a tournament.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Honestly, like I just assume because like people, the portal, like the rules are so like a lot of people aren't aware like of the process, and like
Hmm.
as long as you submit your name before the deadline, like you can make like any type of decision, like you can take as long as you want, like mulling over your options and going
Well,
back
that's
and
the
forth with
thing, and it
teams.
happened with Georgia Amore last year, and also with Haley Van Lith. They didn't say anything, which is also an indicator that they're not gonna declare, they're not gonna do anything. So I'm officially gonna say Flau'Jae is taking another year at LSU. And I remember on playback when we were watching like LSU games and stuff like that. I know a lot of people think or believe that Flau'Jae should take another year just so she can get better because they're saying that she still needs
I
like
don't know why people are so like adamant that she should declare. I'm like, because she has the rest of her life to be a professional and to be like a real adult, like out in the world, like as someone who's like near, pushing 37, like those college years, like you can never get them back. Like being in that bubble, being in that protective space, like that's a very important time, in people's lives, and that's time you're never going to get back. There's always going to be time for her to be, you know whatever she wants to be out in the world, but you can never get that youth back, and why grow up faster if you don't have to, you know
And you gotta also think about it. Her future husband is at LSU, so she probably wanna stay and see him play.
and it's also like it's not like she's not making money right now. It's not like
Right.
the WNBA is improving her financial prospects. Like she's doing fine. I literally see her like talking about credit scores like every other minute on TV. Like she's fine. She's doing good for herself. Like she's making music. Like she can do whatever she wants to do. She probably has more time to do whatever she wants to do in college.
Yeah.
Um, with the WNBA, she's gonna be doing a lot more interviews and stuff, and there's gonna be a lot more pressure associated with whatever she has going on. She has time, right? She can be a kid at LSU, and I don't know. I think that's great for
Ooh,
her.
let me put this on a jumbo. Um, all right, so before we get into final takes for the spaces, I just want to say friend of the show, Carly Bell, who's a Chicago Sky reporter, is officially announced that she's making a podcast, and it's gonna have like WNBA guests, college players guests. I would assume like college players, and then like reporters and stuff like that. I just put it on the jumbotron, so you'll make sure you follow the page, and whenever that first episode release, make sure y'all listen to it as well. Any final takes for the spaces? I'm pretty sure I'll be back on spaces like extremely late tonight. I wanted to do a 7 a.m. spaces earlier today, but I was just out of it. So maybe I'll do one like around like 5 a.m. As crazy as that sounds, but that's
I
when I'll
just
be up.
I just want the portal to be over with because I can't handle the stress. It's too much. There's so many actively moving parts that
Yeah, well, it just started.
it's overwhelming though, like literally, like anything, it feels like literally anything can happen and nothing's like out of bounds, and but at the same time you can't look away. It's not like I want to stop paying attention, but it's also like, oh, like like just let me know where the chips are falling, like where, because like I heard Olivia Miles is possibly mulling over TCU, which seems insane to me that like given TCU's lack of history that she would go there. But I mean, who knows? I don't know what she's thinking. Um,
Um, I also have a thing with the transfer portal. I want to say this right now. Whoever picks up Samaya Smith, they're getting an absolute freaking menace.
Is that the
Okay.
lady who went to Rutgers?
she's
No,
at
she was
LSU.
she when she was at LSU.
Oh.
I'm gonna say this right now. Whoever gets her, they're getting an absolute dog.
Or Sarah
'Cause
Williams. I'm waiting to hear where she's going. I would love for us to land her. Like holy shit. Because I do think we need another big, but I mean, who knows what's gonna happen.
All right. Well, I think that's it for the spaces. I'll be back on like much later tonight. Go over I don't know finer points of things and just like a really deep dive in a few topics. Other than that, there's still no games tomorrow because all the teams literally just got to Tampa today, so they're still adjusting and have to go to practice and stuff like that. First Final Four game is on Friday, which should be exciting, and then national championship is Sunday. Um, on that playback, actually, we're gonna do something new with the playback on Friday, so I'll announce that when it happens. But on that Sunday on playback, that championship game, um, whoever wins that at the end of the game, we're gonna announce the winner for the giveaway that we're doing of the ESPN brackets. Who's gonna win a free jersey? Um, Nothing's set in stone, but it's more likely going to be that UConn fan. Super crazy. They 93% on their bracket is like insane. That's got to be like a top like 1%.
damn.
Yeah, they literally only missed like one game. Like got one game wrong.
Damn. Shit. I don't even try to compete for that perfect bracket shit. I always try to make sure I get a Final Four pick correct, and I can happily say every year since seventh grade I've gotten a Final Four pick correct.
Mm, yeah.
I mean, I don't really want to take credit for it. Now 2013 through 2016 was. I mean, we kind of everybody knew UConn was gonna get to the Final Four, so it's like that's kind of a. I mean, that was kind of cheating. So yeah.
Right. All right. That's the spaces, everyone. Be safe, be amazing. Tune in next time, and we'll see you on the next one.